Many artists toil alone in the dark. In that isolation, they battle with themselves to make art. Occasionally, that art finds its way into the world. But what if that artist doesn't get his or her due credit? These walls, all these toys, it's all art. Every single one of these toys was created by an artist. I still don't know who most of them are, but it is one of the great and truest honors of my life to say I met, at least briefly, Mark Taylor, the greatest of them. I didn't really know Mark Taylor, although I was fortunate to meet him and spend time in conversation with him. It remains one of the best days of my life. It actually reminds me of the scene in Gladiator where Proximo, played by Oliver Reed, talks to Maximus, played by Russell Crowe, about meeting Marcus Aurelius. Maximus kind of mocks him for having known Marcus Aurelius. Proximo takes offense to this because that meeting, as brief as it was, completely changed his life as it earned him his freedom. That's Mark Taylor for me. And his impact extends beyond the conversations we had over a weekend at PowerCon. It goes back pretty much as long as I've been alive, even longer. I was born in 1982, so I've pretty much existed as long as He-Man and Skeletor. While I remember the cartoon, I don't remember it well. But I remember hours upon hours with these toys in my hands. It's as if I was given the tools by a great artist and told, go make a story, kid. And that's where I first learned to tell stories, by playing with these action figures, these very ones in my hand right now. Mark created He-Man, arguably the definitive toy line of the 1980s, and he helped bring focus and general awesomeness to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, arguably the definitive toy line of the 1990s. One of the jewels of my collection is this Jumbo He-Man. I took it to the last PowerCon and actually had a lot of people related to He-Man in the 1980s sign it, which is awesome, and I'm not a signature collector. But one thing that makes me sad is that Mark didn't sign it. Not because anything related to value, but because if there's one signature that should be on this toy, it's his. At PowerCon 2019, I gave Mark a copy of my short story book. I told him about my meeting with Ray Bradbury, a story I love to tell, but that's a story for another day. And of course, Mark had a better one. I want to preface this by saying I'm telling this story from memory, and unfortunately, the man who should be telling this story is no longer with us. But the meeting of two of my greatest creative influences is a story that should be told, and it goes as such. Ray Bradbury came one day to Mattel to explore how toys are made. In my mind, it's almost as if Dr. Seuss is visiting Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. He wandered into Mark's office. Whether he was told to go there or drawn by the aura of the art within, I don't know. Upon arriving, he said something to the effect of, "I understand magic is made here." Mark, not unlike Proximo, took offense to this. Yes, he knew exactly who he was talking to and respected the man's work. However, he didn't care who he was. You don't come into his world and insult him. That's not cool. Mark shot back. Are your stories magic? Do they just appear, conjured instantly out of nothing? Ray replied, of course not. They come from toil hunched over a typewriter. Mark said, it's the same here. There's no magic here. Just irons in the fire and lots of hard work. There is, however, magic here. Because of all that hard work, we get to experience the magic. The magic is very real. It's just magic that's the result of work by people we don't name often enough.
You remember this one.
There's a song called Story of an Artist by Daniel Johnston that's been playing over and over in my head since Mark's passing, and I'm not sure if it fits completely, but it's in my heart for this moment, so here it is. Listen up and I'll tell a story about an artist growing old. Some would try for fame and glory. Others aren't so bold. Everyone and friends and family saying, hey, get a job. Why do you do that only? Why are you so odd? We don't really like what you do. We don't think anyone ever will. It's a problem that you have, and this problem's made you ill. Listen up and I'll tell a story about an artist growing old. Some would try for fame and glory. Others just like to watch the world. Thank you for everything, Mark. It was a pleasure meeting you, but more than anything, thank you for your creativity. Rest in peace, sir.